Bryan Gaiser is an investment advisor representative of Advisory Alpha LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All opinions expressed by Bryan Gaiser are solely his own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Advisory Alpha LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance, coaching, and educational services offered through Gaiser Financial Group. Gaiser Financial Group is a separate and unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. While tax and legal services may be discussed in the general course of financial and investment planning, Advisory Alpha does not provide tax or legal services. Please consult with your tax or legal professional prior to making decisions related to these issues. This material is not endorsed or approved by the Social Security Office or any other government agency. An annuity is a long-term financial product designed largely for asset accumulation and retirement needs. All guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. All opinions expressed by externally cited sources are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. The case studies presented reflects the specific circumstances of one client and should not be considered a guarantee that another client or potential client may experience the same or certain level of results. This is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment recommendations or solicitation. Names have been changed to protect the anonymity of clients and are not testimonials in nature. Learn, grow, and take charge of your retirement. This is the Wealth Through Wisdom podcast with financial advisor Bryan Gaiser, founder of Gaiser Financial Group.
Retirement's not what it was for our parents and our grandparents, Bryan. Now, some people are living 40 years in their retirement. They're living just as much in retirement as they did during their working years.
Yep. Oh, that's an understatement. Well, they're living, this 20, 30 years in retirement is very normal now.
Yeah.
My parents, it didn't quite work out that way for them, very short, little period of time. But that being said, I mean, it's just what it is. We are living longer. I hope we're living healthier. I thought the sky was falling, all the talk about it, many, many things. The world's ending, climate change, and all these things. But we're all living longer, so something's going right. So we're definitely staying healthy. But it really is. We're in a situation now, though. Possibility of tariffs, folks. If it isn't tariffs this week, it's going to be something next week,
right?
And the next week, and the next week. So, like you and I were talking before we went on air, it's about. The more we listen to social media and TV, it's going to wear us down. Go back and something you're highly worried about and just go all the way back to when it began and see how many of their predictions went right. Even on the big financial guys right now, if you look at that, everybody's worried about this, worried about that. They're telling you, see a recession. Recession's a whole lot better than stagflation, but they won't tell you that. A little recession, a little pullback in pricings doesn't really hurt you.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
You might say, hey, I got to leave my growth money alone for a little while, but that's just part of it. So people get all this stuff wrapped up in their head, Heather, over and over and over, and it starts to wear them down. Then they don't sleep at night.
Bryan, you've been talking some big terms, saying things like recession and stagflation. And folks that are listening to us right now on WPTI, these are folks that are thinking about their retirement, and they're like, how dare you be throwing these terms around when I'm 5 years from retirement, Bryan? So a couple of things I want to point out to folks. One, if you have questions, if you are worried about some of the terminology you're reading on the internet or you're seeing on the news headlines, let's get to work helping you understand your specific situation when it comes to you and your money. That's all that matters. Forget about the headlines. Focus on what you have and how that's going to work for you in the years ahead. The opportunity for you to meet with Bryan one-on-one, we have that today for you. Our phone number is 336-586-5861. As you were talking about some of the grab words, the gotcha words that are floating around out there, they are tariffs, inflation, and then you brought up the S word, the stagflation word, one we haven't heard in a while, Bryan. But many people are wondering how tariffs and inflation are going to react together. And asset manager Eric Johnson was on CNBC talking about how it could be a step towards stagflation. Here's what he said.
As far as the economy goes, we're going to slow. We're going to have slowing growth, and we're going to have rising inflation. And the real question is, how much are we going to slow, and are we going to go negative? So that backdrop right there makes it such that our best case scenario, we think, for the next 6 months is a stagflationary environment.
So inflation is too many dollars chasing too few goods, but stagflation is where you have high prices and low growth and high unemployment, which we haven't seen quite yet. So do you think this is where we're headed?
Do you notice he didn't mention the employment? So I think the unemployment, high unemployment, is more the tariff issue that's going on.
Okay.
The tariff issue, the unknown, has created that void that there isn't. The employment's gone well. Our numbers have gone really well over the last couple of months, and so they're trying to figure out how we kind of running into this stagflation. I think we had such quick inflation caused by overprinting of money.
Yeah.
And then when you come in and you got a new president and then they're talking tariffs, let's change this, we're changing the world economy. I think that's the replacement for the unemployment. Everybody just kind of froze up, but the employment still keeps growing. So this is new territory that we're walking in. And stagflation means everything's just kind of flatlining, right?
Yep.
Relative to those terms you just mentioned a little bit ago, those reasons. And so with stagflation, it's a little scarier than recession. That means we're going backwards a little bit. But a little mix of the stagflation scares me more than inflation and scares me more than recession is about least of my worries.
Okay.
You got to have a little recession because things will get out of hand, get wound up. Like the price of houses. I mean, price of homes now. Crazy. It only took $75,000 to buy a home 4 years ago. The average price home in America now it's $135,000.
Yep.
That knocks a lot of people out of the equation.
Okay.
A lot more dependence, if you will, you're creating.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can bring salaries, right, or wages in line with buying homes and a more healthier economy. Mm-hmm. I think the tariff issue, once it works through, even though it's new to us, since over 100 years ago, it was used back then. So hopefully today we will be in a position where the market kind of gets itself back on balance and we go into new territory and we're more in control as a country as opposed to throwing everything offshore.
Okay.
That's going to help out because if we bring a lot back to America, then we're going to have a lot more jobs. That's going to kill the unemployment thing. Once we take the guesswork out of unemployment, I think this stagflation will go away. But we need to have healthy growth, not this parabolic jump up, parabolic jump down. That's where our problem is. We need to stabilize things, and I think we can do that.
Okay.
But it really boils down to a lot of people going, should I get a job? They literally, I'm getting that from folks that I'm dealing with. They say, should I go ahead and get a job? And, maybe I should
folks that you're working with that are retired, they're calling you saying this?
Right. It's funny. We talk about that. There's a couple that came in the other day.
Yeah. And
that I met with on a review. And we're having a review. They're clients of mine. And her and her husband sat down. She's worried, should I just go back and work? He had retired a few years before her. Then she finally retired a couple of years later. Now she's thinking, I could probably get some part-time work. I said, if you're bored or maybe you're getting a little overdose of your husband here, we have that kind of relationship, and you want to go back to work, do that. But do you have to? Well, let's figure it out. So we ran their numbers. We looked at their big picture. We looked at their debt. We literally went through everything. And they have about $2,700 a month coming in after taxes left over.
Oh, really?
From the regular expenses, going out to eat, the vacations they have to plan. I said, that's called surplus income in retirement. And what are you doing right now when things are a little bit rough? You're still buying back into the market, aren't you? So your assets are in growth mode. You just haven't seen it yet. It hasn't been realized. Keep watering that plant. Continue to invest in yourself after retirement. That's the key to a successful plan. Mm-hmm. And and then the husband started to chime in, and obviously she wears the pants, so kind of cut her eyes at him. He hushed up. I've got this, so to speak. Looked at him. I've got this. They're wonderful. They're a trip. He wants it that way. Trust me. And I'll mow the grass. But and the bottom line is, it's like all she needed to do is be reassured. Golly, I do have that excess. We already live below our means. And I don't touch a dime of my growth money. All that money is guaranteed on a regular basis coming in every month. And I'm like, so are you in good shape? And a good portion of that is just dividends going back in, because neither one of them are working right now. Think about that. When you're not working, you can't contribute to your retirement accounts, right?
Right.
But your dividends can.
Okay.
So we think all of those things through. We want to make sure that you have a retirement system, if you will, retirement operating system. How about that? Mm-hmm. That literally continues to invest in you until such day that, it is that time.
Yeah.
And that's the key. Have your retirement set up in a way that it continues to reinvest in you. And when she talked about that, and you could just see the difference in the change in her demeanor, going, golly, we talked about this 4 years ago, but you just don't think about it. And then our last reviews, we talk about it, but when it was, all this negative news I keep getting, it just stressed me out. That's why I called you. Thanks for seeing us today. And that's the difference of dealing with a group that's more coach-like, but it is more coaching, more, please remind me why we're going to be okay. Mm-hmm. We do that on a regular basis.
And this is what Bryan and his team are doing every single day in the office and are here to do with and for you as well. Are you looking for some coaching through the retirement planning process? We're here for you. Give us a call, 336 888-586-5861. We're also online at gaiserfinancial.com. But you can also give us a call right now and plan some time to begin the conversation with Bryan. 336-586-5861. You made a very poignant remark about this last couple. You were just talking about how she just wanted to be reassured. At the end of the day, people that are coming to you, isn't that what they're looking for, Bryan? The reassurance.
That's an understatement. That's exactly what they're doing. Hey, we're going to be okay. We are more of a coach group. If you want somebody that's just going to grow your money, I'm probably not the guy for you. But if you want someone that's really going to look at you from more of a holistic standpoint or a complete standpoint, I'm going to look at you from that standpoint. I'm going to create a system that will won't be totally automatic pilot, because I don't want you to get bored. I want you to be involved with it. You're going to be involved with what we do. But most importantly, the reason you're involved is so that you understand it deeply, that I'm fine. I know what my reserve accounts look like. I know how much I have in the market. I know the level of risk I take. That's really what it is if you want a successful retirement. You got to speak like that and understand I know my retirement. We're good.
Forget about what's happening in the headlines. Focus on yourself. As Bryan says, invest in yourself. This is what goes into the planning process at Gaiser Financial Group. 336-586-5861.
Thanks for listening to the Wealth Through Wisdom podcast. To learn more, visit gaiserfinancial.com. Bryan Gaiser is an investment advisor representative of Advisory Alpha LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All opinions expressed by Bryan Gaiser are solely his own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Advisory Alpha LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance, coaching, and educational services offered through Gaiser Financial Group. Gaiser Financial Group is a separate and unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. While tax and legal services may be discussed in the general course of financial and investment planning, Advisory Alpha does not provide tax or legal services. Please consult with your tax or legal professional prior to making decisions related to these issues. This material is not endorsed or approved by the Social Security Office or any other government agency. An annuity is a long-term financial product designed largely for asset accumulation and retirement needs. All guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. All opinions expressed by externally cited sources are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. The case studies presented reflects the specific circumstances of one client and should not be considered a guarantee that another client or potential client may experience the same or certain level of results. This is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment recommendations or solicitation. Names have been changed to protect the anonymity of clients and are not testimonials in nature.